Welcome, Pesky Plant Trackers, volunteers. This is a video called Learning Together, What to Look For When Observing Knotweed in September. So volunteer Kaye observed knotweed in the Twin Cities metro area and sent these photos that they took in September of 2021. They took these photos on September 10th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. Kudos to Kaye for making observations on a weekly basis. Really nicely done. These photos are really an excellent opportunity to take a closer look, interpret what we see, and consider those 7 phenophase questions that you get when you use Nature's Notebook. When you use Nature's Notebook, you're asked every time you observe the plant, do you see initial growth, leaves, flowers or flower buds, open flowers, fruits, ripe fruits, recent fruit drop? And so let's take a look at these photos, these 4 photos, one by one, talk about those phenophases, their definitions, what to look for, and interpret whether we see it or do not see it in the photo. So the first phenophase is initial growth. And Nature's Notebook defines initial growth as those shoots that come up from the ground after a period of no growth, such as winter or drought. We're looking for all growth that happens before the first leaf fully unfolds. So that's a text definition, but let's look at a photo. This is what we'd be looking for. They're close to the ground, they're often pink. They are the growth of the plant after a period of dormancy, before the first leaf unfolds. They look like this, and I wouldn't expect that in September, but I never like to generalize. But based on the photo, I really can't detect initial growth because I'm not looking in the right place. The next phenophase is leaves, which Nature's Notebook says is happening when one or more live, fully unfolded leaf is attached to the plant. And so a picture of what we'd be looking for Japanese knotweed is something like this. So yes, leaves are, that phenophase is happening in this plant. Flowers are flower buds. Nature's Notebook defines flowers or flower buds as the phenophase that happens when one or more fresh, open, or unopened flowers or flower buds are visible and attached to the plant. And so let's take a picture. Actually, what kind of picture are we looking for this phenophase? This phenophase is a long range. It has many different appearances depending on the stage it's in. So you would be wanting to detect everything from as early as what's pictured in the upper right, the very first inkling of what's going to develop into a cluster of flowers. These are flower buds. You'd have to have a trained eye to even know that this kind of scaly lobed structure will develop into flower buds, but that's what it will do. And then on the bottom right, this is a flower that's still fresh, but it's nearing the end. So anywhere from the very first sign of buds to the last fresh flower is a yes for this phenophase. And so in this photo, clearly flowers or flower buds are happening. So yes, that phenophase is happening. Open flowers. Nature's Notebook defines open flowers as the phenophase that happens when the flower, at least one fresh flower, is open on the plant. The petals are open and you can see the reproductive parts inside. A picture of what this phenophase looks like is here for Japanese knotweed. You have the 5 petals that are open, letting you see the reproductive parts inside. And so in the photo that Kaye took, yes, open flowers are clearly happening. I circled just one, but pretty much all the flowers that I see here are open. How about fruits? Nature's Notebook defines fruits as they're made up of the remnant flower parts, and they're contained within there. They're capsule-like. The definition from text is difficult to put a picture in your mind. So let's show you a picture of what those fruits look like. These are fruits. They're teardrop shaped. They have 3 wings. They change in color from this fleshy white to a papery tan or rusty tan as they ripen. So in this photo, I inspected and I do not see any fruits in the photo. How about ripe fruits? Nature's Notebook defines ripe fruits as when the fruit has turned tan, dry, and papery. It has that teardrop shape with 3 wings, but now it's in the tan or rusty tan and dry and papery phase. So a picture of what this looks like is this. These are ripe fruits. Do we see them in the photo? No. Now it's possible that Kaye inspected the plant and the whole patch and maybe found them on another part. I can only report on what's in the photo, so no. How about recent fruit drop? Nature's Notebook defines recent fruit drop as happening when one or more mature fruits have dropped since the last time you visited. And it says do not include when you see any immature or unripe fruits dropped. That can happen in a heavy rain or a heavy wind, but it doesn't count as this phenophase recent fruit drop. So here's a picture of what you might be looking for recent fruit drop. If the last time you came to this plant, there were more ripe fruits, and now there's only one remaining, as I see here, that would be a case where you answer yes to that phenophase. So how about the photo? No, there's no evidence of recent fruit drop in this photo. The next photo is from September 16th. Initial growth, can't report on that, not in the photo, it's close to the ground. Leaves, yes, clearly leaves. Flowers are flower buds. Let's zoom in, take a look. Here's an inflorescence. Even though several of the flowers have dropped off, it's still yes, because there's at least one fresh flower, either open or unopened, or flower bud. All those different categories of all of them, at least one is present. So we say yes to flowers or flower buds. Open flowers, let's take a zoomed in close-up look again. And yes, these flowers are not only present and fresh, but they're also open. So yes. How about fruits? You really have to look in closely, which I did, and I saw these two teardrop shapes that are larger than flowers. The flowers are trumpet shaped, but the fruits are teardrop shapes. The flowers have 5 petals, but the fruits have 3 wings. So they have a number of characteristics that you can tell a fruit from a flower. So these are presence of fruits, so we can say yes. How about ripe fruits? So I zoomed in, this is the only fruits I could find, and they are not ripe. So no, not ripe fruits in the photo. Recent fruit drop. Again, no evidence of that in this photo. I do want to point out, it's possible that unripe fruits have formed on the plant and dropped. You or Karen Kaye may see that, but that does not count as this phenophase because we're only interested in ripe fruits recently dropped. The next photo from September 23rd, initial growth, no, not in this photo. Leaves, yes. Flowers or flower buds? No, not in this photo. It's possible that Karen Kaye, as she inspected the whole plant or the whole patch, saw some remaining flowers elsewhere, but we can't tell from the photo. Open flowers, similarly, no, not in the photo. Fruits. Yes, there are a number of fruits in this photo, which I have circled here in red. And so we would answer yes. How about ripe fruits? All the fruits I see are white and still fleshy. None of them are dry or tan. So no, not ripe fruits, not in the photo. Recent fruit drop? Nope, no evidence of that. It seems that these structures are kind of bare, so maybe some unripe fruits have fallen, but I don't think any ripe fruits have fallen because it just doesn't seem to be in the ripe fruit stage yet. September 30th. Initial growth, not in the photo. Leaves, yes. Flowers or flower buds? No, not in the photo. I do want to point out these brown kind of shriveled structures, I think are dead flowers. Maybe they got frost kill or something, I'm not sure, but they're not fresh and they do not count as this phenophase happening. So no. Open flowers, no. Just a note, you will always answer no to open flowers if you answered no to the phenophase called flowers or flower buds, because open flowers is a subset of that larger set of objects that we call flowers or flower buds. Fruits, yes, there are some fruits in this picture. Ripe fruits, no, none of the fruits I see in the photo anyway are dry, papery, and tan or rusty tan in color. It's possible that there are some ripe fruits attached somewhere else on the patch, but we can't tell that from the photo. How about recent fruit drop? No, there's no evidence of recent fruit drop in the photo. So that concludes the series of 4 photos, but it also prompts observers to ask, hey, is it possible that all the fruits can fall before even getting ripe? And yes, actually that's quite possible. In Knotweed, we do see flowers falling before they turn into fruits, and we see fruits falling off the plant before they ripen. And so as an observer, you might ask, well, could that mean that I will never get to see those last 2 phenophases? The phenophases we call ripe fruits and recent fruit drop. And if I don't see them, is that okay? Yes, it's not only okay, it's very interesting because the accurate records of what you observe in the real world is much more valuable than generalized patterns we simply expect to see. If we only were interested in what we'd expect to see, we wouldn't do this project. So we're really learning about the phenophases as they actually happen in the world, and that includes situations in which phenophases don't play out as the general pattern. I want to thank Karen Kaye for these terrific photos. They're a great opportunity to inspect and interpret and rehearse this process of answering the 7 phenophase questions. And thank all volunteers really at this moment, because I know this work that Karen Kaye did, you are doing the same kind of process in your own place with your own patch or plant. And it's really important and valuable. And I appreciate your careful observations, your dedication, and your passion for the project for Pesky Plant Trackers. Thank you.